Hi guys, happy Tuesday. It's Mrs. Manley checking in with you for part 3 of function notation. Today we will be looking at real-world scenarios as well as some combination problems that combine both function notation with domain and range, and then also a challenge problem. You will need a calculator for what we're going to do today, and I recommend downloading on your phones the Desmos Test Mode app. Okay, Desmos Test Mode. The Desmos Test Mode app can do more than the regular calculator on your phones can do. It can do the same things that the calculators that we actually use in class do. So when you look for the app, it's blue and it has kind of a shield on it. And once you get in, you have 3 options: for function calculator, scientific calculator, and graphing calculator. So you're going to choose scientific, it's the middle one, scientific calculator, and then click start practice or start test. It doesn't matter which one. And I'm going to be showing you today exactly how to type things in to this calculator. Excuse me, guys. Alright, so number 1. A rock is thrown from a cliff into a ravine. The function h of t equals negative 12t squared plus 293t plus 1,560 describes the height in feet of the rock t seconds after it is thrown. What is the height of the rock after 3 seconds? So some important information here. They gave us a function, which is right here. Okay, notice that it says height in feet of the rock, and then it says t seconds. T seconds. So if I look back at the problem, I'm going to notice that t is the variable, so that t probably represents where I'm going to put in my seconds. So it says, what is the height of the rock after 3 seconds? So that tells me I'm going to take 3 and plug it in everywhere I see a t, because t represents seconds. So when you put this in your calculator, you're going to do it like this. You're not going to put in the h of t equals, but you will put in the following. So you're going to hit negative 12, and as soon as you see that t, you're going to open parentheses, which you can do in the Desmos Test Mode app, and you're going to plug in 3 because that's our t. Then you're going to close parentheses, which again you can do in the Desmos Test Mode app. Then you're going to square it. The way you do that is when you're on your Desmos Test Mode calculator, once you've put in what you need to square, you're going to see a button that says a squared, and just hit it. Okay, so the button will say a squared. It's in the top left. Then you're going to put in plus 293. As soon as I see t again, open parentheses 3, close parentheses, plus 1,560. So again, the part you're putting in the calculator is all of this at once. So if you have the Desmos Test Mode app, you're going to be able to do that. Okay, so I know you guys can't see me doing it, but I'm going to do it right now on mine. So the first thing I need to do is put in my negative. And then it's 12, open parentheses, 3, close parentheses, a squared, plus 293, open parentheses, 3, close parentheses, plus 1,560. And hit enter. And it's going to give me 2,331 feet, because we were trying to find the height. Right? So for number 2, a penny is dropped from the top of a building to the ground. The function h of t equals negative 16t squared plus 123t plus 3,470 describes the height in feet of the penny t seconds after it is dropped. What is the height of the penny after 4 seconds? So again, they give us our function right here. Again, it says t seconds, which tells me t stands for seconds, and at the end they said 4 seconds. So I'm finding the height after 4 seconds. Since they gave me seconds, I'm going to plug in for t. So again, I'm going to show you how to set it up, and then I want you to try to find it on your own. So h of t equals, and then from here on is what you put in the calculator after the equal sign. So you'll hit negative 16. As soon as you see a t, open parentheses, 4, close parentheses, squared, plus 123. There's a t, so I open parentheses, 4, close parentheses, plus 3,470. Okay, so again, this whole part right here can go in your calculator if you either have a TI-84 graphing calculator or if you're using the Desmos test mode. So I'm going to give you a few seconds to go ahead and plug that in to see what you get. Make sure you start with that negative sign. Alright, so you should have gotten 3,706 feet. 3,706 feet. Alright, so now we're going to look at some combination problems. So it says, given the function f of x equals 6x plus 2, I'm just going to write that down. What values would be included in the range if the values of the domain are 0, 1, and 2? So this is where we have to go back and think about what domain and range mean. Domain deals with my x-axis. Range deals with my y-axis. So if they're giving me the domain, I'm going to put the domain in for x. So I'm going to take the first one, f of, and in place of x, I'm going to put 0 equals 6 times 0 plus 2. F of 0 equals 0 plus 2. Therefore, f of 0 equals 2. We're going to do the same thing for the next two equations. So go ahead and pause your screen, and I would like you on your own to work to find the range when the domain is 1 and when the domain is 2. Alright, so welcome back. I hope you did those on your own. So we have for f of 1, we should get 8. And for f of 2, we should get 14. And you can see all of my work there. And then the way that you would write this answer is you would write it in parentheses as a set of ordered pairs from least to greatest. A list of numbers from least to greatest. 2, 8, 14. And that would be my range. 2, 8, 14. Alright, next problem. Given the function f of x equals negative 3x plus 5, find the domain if the range is negative 7, 2, and 38. Now, this one's a little different. This one we want to find x. So if you think back to when we first started function notation, or about the midpoint, we said we had those problems that said find x if f of x equals, and it gives you a number. Okay, and we talked about how f of x just replaced y. Okay, so that tells me if the range is y and they're giving me the range, I'm going to plug the range in for y, which is f of x. Okay, because I'm trying to find the domain, so I'm finding the x values. So I should be solving for x. So for this first one, I'm going to start with negative 7. I'm going to say negative 7 equals, because I'm replacing y, or f of x. Negative 3x plus 5. I'm going to draw my line. Subtract 5 on both sides. Positive 5 and negative 5 make 0, so I'm going to cross it out. Bring down negative 3x equals a negative 7 and a negative 5. Same sign, so add and keep the sign. Divide by negative 3, because that negative must go with it. and x equals a positive 4. Okay, so again, since we're finding the domain, we're finding x, we have to plug in for the range, which would be y, or in this case, f of x. Again, pause your screen here and go ahead and find the domain if the range is 2 and 38 by using my example to help you. Again, welcome back. Take a look. When the range was 2, my domain was 1. And when the range was 38, the domain was negative 11. And again, I would write this as an order pair set. I'm sorry, a list of numbers. I keep saying order pairs. A list of numbers from least to greatest. So it would go negative 11, comma, 1, comma, 4. Okay, go ahead and try, oh, we already did that one, sorry. Right, go ahead and try this one on your own. So hit pause to try to work this one out on your own, and then when you unpause, you can see my answer. And here you go, take a look over my work. Excuse me. For the first two, the error that most people make is right here. Okay, this is a negative 1 squared. So when you do negative 1 squared, you do get positive 1, but you cannot forget that negative right at the beginning. So it's really the opposite of negative 1 squared. So negative 1 squared is positive 1, the opposite is negative 1. Same thing happens on the second one, negative 6 squared. So I just bring down that negative sign, and then negative 6 squared is positive 36, which makes it negative. All right, we've got one more problem type that we need to look at today. So it says challenge problem, but you will see this type of problem on tests and things. So f of 4 divided by g of 2 minus g of negative 1. You just take this one piece at a time. So I'm going to find f of 4 first. So f of 4 equals 4 times 4 minus 1. F of 4 equals 16 minus 1. So f of 4 equals 15. Okay, now I'm going to find g of 2. G of 2 equals 2 squared plus 1. So g of 2 equals 4 plus 1. Therefore, g of 2 equals 5. And then g of negative 1 equals negative 1 squared plus 1. So g of negative 1 equals negative 1 squared is 1 plus 1. G of negative 1 is 2. Then I'm just going to plug in each one. So f of 4 was 15. G of 2 was 5. And then g of negative 1 was 2. So I have 15 divided by 5, which gives me 3, minus 2, which gives me 1. Okay, so this is part 3. I will be putting up your benchmark review next, and then making the videos to go over that with you. If you have any questions, make sure you check in with me, and we'll get some additional practice going soon. Have a great day.